Hi everyone, my name is Keely and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and I have an addiction to silicone molds. If you're a soap maker, you can probably relate to that addiction that I have. I have got so bad with silicone molds that I now have a ruling in place that if I don't know how I'm going to use that mold within a month, I am not to buy it. I have been eyeing off a silicone mold for quite a while now, probably a few years actually, and I finally bit the bullet about a month ago and I ordered in a few of them, and it was for this massage mold. Now I got this one from Aussie Soap Supplies here in Australia, but I have seen these on Amazon and I've also seen them on eBay, but be aware the ones on eBay don't tend to have these really nice nodules on the massage side, whereas the ones I've seen on Amazon do. They have that deeper groove, so you are going to get that bit more of the massage experience for a little bit longer if you pay more for your mold. Now, as I said, I ordered these about a month ago and I have a policy in place that it has to be used within a month. I am up to that final week, so today I'm going to take you along as I use these molds for the first time to make a watermelon massage bar using cold processed soap. Let's go. In my bucket here I have my usual oil mix, and I've left that down in the description box below. What I am doing differently today is with my sodium hydroxide and distilled water solution. Now I'm using a lye concentration of 30% today to really drop down that amount of water that I'm using, and that is so that it can help to harden up quicker so I can pop them out of the molds. Now the other thing I've also added into my jug is some sodium lactate, which will also help to release them from the molds. To work out how much sodium lactate I needed, the guidelines from the particular one I buy is 2% of your oil weight, and I would much rather work it out that way than using teaspoons or tablespoons per pound of oils, because then I know I'm getting the exact weight every time I do it. To work out what 2% of your oil weight is, you take your total oils, in my case that was 600 grams, and you multiply it by 0.02, and that will give you 2% of 600 grams, which is 14 grams, and that is what I've added into my sodium hydroxide solution here. And then I'm just going to simply do it as I do with all of my soaps. I'm going to pour my lye water solution into my oils here. I'm going to mix it up and then split it out for a couple of colours. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split just a little bit off with some titanium dioxide, just to put a little bit of a white layer in here. And I won't be putting any fragrance into my white layer because my fragrance oil does have vanillin in it and I don't want that white bit to discolour. In this one I have some Caribbean mica, so I'm going to pour a bit off in there, and then in this one here I have some elusive, so I'm going to pour a little bit off into that one. Hopefully I've left myself enough for some red. If not, we'll just end up pouring whatever's left from the white back into the red, and we'll just get a little bit more of a paler watermelon. I'm going to mix these two up, and then I'm going to start pouring these into the mold. These are the molds that I'm going to use. These are my massage molds, and I've just got them on the tray here so that I can easily move them around. What I'm going to actually do is do a drop pour, or in the pot swirl I should say, into there first, and I'm going to start filling up all of these cavities. at the end. I've just got this last one. I'm actually going to pour this colour into my darker colour. So it gives that, it will end up being a little bit darker on the skin on this one. So let's get that all scraped out and then poured into this last one. Alright, now what I'm going to do is just very gently spoon some of this white on the top, because I want it to stay on the very top of here and look like that sort of white bit between the skin of the watermelon and the actual beautiful juicy flesh. So I'm going to just very gently spoon. We might try and see if we can pour. I just don't want it to be a really thick layer, so I might just pour a bit into each and then give it a little bit of a shake to even it all out. So how many people actually do love watermelons? I know so many of you who watch my channel are up in the Northern Hemisphere, so you probably are actually enjoying your watermelons at the moment. I can't wait for summer to come along so we can have some more. One of the girls down at the markets, or one of the ladies I should say down at the markets, she's got a organic farm and she brings along these watermelons and she literally picks them off the vine the afternoon before, brings them down to market and she cuts them open, and the aroma, it's just, you cannot deny yourself going to buy a piece of her watermelon that she sells. It is so good, and because she doesn't pick them until they are actually ripe and then brings them straight down to market, they taste like watermelons should. They are so good. It's one of those summertime fruits that is just a real pleasure to actually eat. Alright, what I'm going to do, I know I'll probably need to put just a little bit more in there. I'm just going to give it a bit of a shuffle just to try and cover. I think these two here need just that little bit more, and then I think we were perfectly measured. And what I'll do with my leftover white is pour it into that other big container, and it will just turn my red a little bit more pink. Alright, so move back over to this lot here. We'll give it a bit of a mix, and when I put in the fragrance oil, this will loosen this one back up. It's already starting to loosen up now. I've given it that bit of a mix there. What I'm first of all going to do is actually scrape out this white back into here. Okay, so that adding that white really hasn't changed that too much. What I'm going to add in here is some really red mica from Nurture Soap, so we get a nice watermelon colour. I'm going to mix that up and pour in my fragrance oil, and then I'm going to put some poppy seeds in. So what I've got here is about 6 grams of poppy seeds, and I've actually put these through my blitzer, so I get all different sorts of shapes on my poppy seeds, so they're not just those single round ones. So I've got some which are crushed, some which are still actually whole in there as well, and it just gives lots of different texture while you're using it as an exfoliant. So I really like to do that with this. That is looking good. That is looking like this watermelon is full of lots of seeds, which is probably not really a good thing, but oh well, it's going to be a beautiful bar to use. One side is going to be really nice and massagey, and then the other side is going to be nice and exfoliating. So that is looking really good. I'm going to get this poured on top of the white, and I'll use my spatula just to stop it from actually breaking through to those layers below. So that white has actually set up enough that it can hold this soap as I'm pouring it, so I'm not needing to worry about the spatula. So I'm just very, very gently pushing the soap out and across. I haven't quite filled some of these molds because I was just making sure I did have enough to do a complete set, and it looks like I will. So I will go back and I'll scrape out my bucket, and we'll make sure that these are nice and full. Okay, so it looks like those measurements were pretty spot on. My jugs are all scraped out. I have my 4 molds, and I have one little guessed one, and that's because my actual oils and sodium hydroxide solution would make a smidgen over 1 kilo, so that is absolutely perfect. I am actually going to leave these ones sit for about 24 to up to 48 hours just to make sure that these are nice and easy to unmold without damaging them. Okay, so these have been setting for well over 48 hours, and I'm going to see if I can get them out without actually breaking any of the little nodules on the bottom. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a tug just to help release that soap from off the mould, and then I am going to very gently pull back and push up, and hopefully these come out as one. Alright, we've got to that point. I'm just going to give it very, very gentle. Make sure that they all release. Oh, and there we go. That is one of our watermelon massage bars. I am loving the swirl in that green. It really does make it look like it's got that watermelon skin, got that layer of white, and then all our really nice poppy seed red. I'll give this bit a bit of a steam to get it nice and shiny like the rest of the bar. Let's see if that one was pure fluke or if we can get this one out whole as well. So one of the tricks with using these types of silicone molds is to make sure that you have left your soap sitting in them for long enough. I also find working in cooler weather makes it a lot easier to unmold. If it's really hot, you usually just pop them in the freezer for about 10 minutes just to make sure it's nice and set and solid. Again, I'm just gently peeling that silicone away and popping up. Once I'm at this stage, what I'm doing is pulling the silicone so it comes off the bottom. It just puts that sort of, or releases that air bubble so it doesn't pull those ends off. So let's gently pull this one out. And that one's out nice and whole as well. So I am really pleased that these have worked, and I can't wait to try lots of others. I'm thinking of doing some coffee ones, can do a strawberries and cream. There's so many different fragrances out there that this would look really good on. And these molds also work really well with melt and pour, and it's a lot easier to get the melt and pour out of the silicone molds. So I really can't wait to try these soaps. I'm really curious as to how they actually do feel. I see these molds being used all the time, and I've always put off buying it because there's always other things I need to order at the same time. But on my last order, I decided I was going to go ahead and order in this massage bar. I told my husband what the mold does, and he's really looking forward to having a go at these ones too. So if you've ever been curious about this mold, I highly recommend that you get it in and give it a go, because the possibilities of what you can do is absolutely endless. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I've made my watermelon massage bars. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below, and any suggestions for ones that you might like to see me make. If you've got any questions, leave them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And until the weekend's video, I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you then. Bye!